Hello, everybody. My name is Afro DX, and we are here to do a review of One Piece Chapter 1074. I know I usually do these on Fridays. Sorry, that's my new notification. Um, but we usually do these on Fridays. My day is really packed and busy tomorrow, so I am going to be doing this review today, just because I want to have time to do the other stuff I have planned tomorrow. Um, so, hey, we got Trix the anime hater up in here. Trix, I just wanted to say I've invited like a whole new group of friends to this live stream, so I hope they show up. Um, I'm really hoping we can get some people in here. Anyways, without further ado, One Piece Chapter 1074, which is titled Mark 3. In the cover photo, we have young Caesar, young Queen, and young Vinsmoke Judge all kind of fighting each other. And it says German 66's emotionless excursion. So I'm not reading the regular one, the regular translation that I usually do. I usually read on Manga Reader. Right now I'm reading it on w8.onepiecemangaonline.net. And that is kind of the more closer translation. So yeah, we have Judge Queen and Caesar all fighting, and it says German 66 is an emotionless excursion, volume 30, three war-torn men. So this kind of seems to be the end of Mads and the real falling out of all of these like super scientists. So, heading into the chapter, we are at the Egghead Fabrio phase. Um, and the Mark III pacifistas. So, pretty much in Marineford, what we saw was the PX1. Those were the um, first edition of the pacifistas. And they could use Kizaru's lasers. These are the Mark III pacifistas, which are the most powerful ones. And these pacifistas are impressive because they sort of have Kuma's ability, which shows that Vegapunk could kind of replicate Kuma's ability. And so a Marine tries to shoot a bazooka at one of them, and they deflect it with a bubble shield. And it's immediately explained that it's a bubble shield, and so this cyborg is named Marine's Scientific Group Combat Weapon Pacifista. On its chest, it has PX-3, and this is model number 41. So pretty much the pacifistas are now going across the island and fighting against the Marines and CP0. And this is because Sentomaru is not dead. Sentomaru is alive and is getting up from his wounds, and I always have to do a mental reminder in my head that Sentomaru is a man, because Sentomaru looks so much like a woman. I'm sorry, that haircut. Anyways, Sentomaru is getting up and he orders all of the pacifistas to awaken, and kind of remembers back Luffy saying, "We'll definitely get Vegapunk off of this island." And he orders the Mark III pacifistas to make sure your creator escapes this island at all costs. We do have some questions. I'll actually get into my questions and my theories later. I'm just gonna run through the chapter really quick. So we are looking into the Labo phase now. Punk Records, and Luffy has run all around the Labo phase looking for Vegapunk, has not found anything. And Shaka says, I can see everything in the Labo phase from here. Vegapunk is gone, but Bonnie is not gone, which is very, very interesting. So Shaka explains that there are things called kamikos, which I'm guessing are like cameras that always monitor everything. But there is one slight blind spot that is where Vegapunk could have disappeared. What's really nice here is we get to see a shot of Sanji kind of simping over Stussy. And Stussy really seems to be fitting in with the Straw Hats very well. I think if Stussy joined the Straw Hats, that would be a good addition. So everybody's like, or so Nami says, well, I guess we should go look for Vegapunk, because the faster we find Vegapunk, the faster we get out of here. And so everyone wants to go, including Zoro, but everyone tells Zoro to stay because they don't want to have Zoro get lost and then find him again. And I kind of felt really bad right here, just because this is now the second time that people have told Zoro to stay put because they know he's going to get lost. I kind of hate how Zoro is being put in the doghouse repeatedly. But then we get one of my favorite panels. This is now in my top 10 favorite panels in One Piece. We get a shot of Zoro and Luffy sitting on a couch, just relaxing, while Lucci and Kaku are knocked out on the floor. And it is beautiful. I used this panel for the thumbnail, actually, and it gave me a lot of The Boys. It gave me a very big The Boys vibe. So yeah, I honestly love any panel where Luffy and Zoro are kind of just hanging out, because it brings back so many feel memories from Shellstown when they first met, and even right here where Zoro is just like, so Luffy says, well, who would have thought we meet these guys again? And Zoro says, brings back memories from Water 7, doesn't it? And Luffy, I think it is, says, I wonder if Old Man Ice is well. So then we flash over to the Nikyu room. Nikyu translation means, well, if we're going by the numbers translation in Japanese, Nikyu means 29, room 29. But I think in this translation it's paw room, because because Kuma's power is the Nikyu no Mi. So this is the paw room. So we see kind of a flashback of Baby Punk saying, don't touch that, Bonnie, shut up. And Bonnie says, shut up and go away. And Vegapunk cries. We still are not really seeing what happened to Vegapunk here. So we see that Bonnie has now gone into Kuma's memories. And what we see is a young Kuma. Yeah, a young Kuma, I'm guessing. And who's a little kid. Bonnie can't really go any further into the memory because there's some kind of barrier there. But this kid is apparently getting beaten to death, or, well, not to death, but getting severely beaten by these men that have run up to them. And this is such a traumatic scene here, because Bonnie's just watching this kid get beaten with sticks and stuff, and she's yelling out, "Stop! Stop! Stop!" And this kid says, "I'd rather you kill me right now. Even if I go back, I'll die anyway." Uh, and so Bonnie, who can't take the pain of this memory anymore, gets flung out of the bubble, and kind of realizing how much pain is put into this bubble, which Vegapunk, to be honest, fairly warned her um, that that bubble is seriously just, it's full of pain. Like, honestly, this bubble is probably more full of pain than all of Luffy's pain from Thriller Bark, because this is mental pain. This is like mental scarring. So then we get shot. Oda keeps doing this where he does shots back and forth of Bonnie, Kuma, and we're seeing Kuma here climbing up the red line, and they're saying shoot him down, and Bonnie says, "I can't accept this with half-baked resolve." She's like, "I won't be satisfied if I never know." And we see a shot of Kuma, and Kuma is smiling. And we all know that smile. Oda only puts that smile on the face of people who know they're gonna die and have accepted their death. It is Gold Roger's smile. It's Whitebeard's smile. It is the it's the Will of D smile. The Will of D are people who can smile knowing they're going to die. And actually, Luffy had this same smile when Buggy was about to execute him back in Logtown. And that's a common trait of the Will of D people. They smile when they know they're going to die. Which is really sad because, as we've been saying, like, this is probably the last moments of Kuma's life, which really does make me cry. So Pythagoras is searching on the third level of the lab here, and is just looking around, and somebody is sneaking up behind him. There's a clink sound, and then there's a sudden explosion. So if there's a clink sound, it really seems like some kind of robot, maybe even one of the satellites, is working against them. Probably took down the defenses to let CP0 in, and this robot is now trying to take out the satellites. Possibly even it has kidnapped Vegapunk himself, the Stella body. So then we flash over to We News, which is Morgan's the Newsbird's airship. And so Morgan's is trying to come up with a headline for all of the stuff that is going on so he can explain this to the world. And what the thing is that the world knows what Morgan's wants them to know. And so Morgan's can spin the truth however he wants. And so he's saying the headline will be the Emperor Straw Hat Luffy kidnapped Vegapunk, barricade himself on Egghead, and declares all-out war against the Marines, which Morgan's wants the Marines to look bad, but that headline will make Luffy look bad. And so Vivi says, "What a dumb headline." And so we find out that Vivi has not actually been kidnapped by Sabo. Vivi decided to go with Morgan's, and Wapol is also there with her. It's so much fun to see old characters in here, like Wapol. These are characters that, like, we haven't seen since, like, the Drum Island arc, way back in, like, the mid 200 chapters. So this is very, very exciting. And it's also nice to get to see Vivi again. So she says there's no way Luffy would do such a thing. This is why I hate the government. And so Wapple's like, hey, don't say anything. What if there's wiretaps transponders? Will be erased immediately by the government. Uh, and he says, you're being hidden thanks to Mor-chan. Um, so Morgan says, yesterday you were just a little girl crying your eyes out. Don't be so conceited and meddle in my work. The one who shakes up this world is me. It doesn't matter if it's a lie or the truth. The newspapers are all about entertainment. And that is where we get to the end of the chapter. I hope you like that little voice acting of Morgan's. But yeah, so right now I'm going to get into the sponsors, then we're going to check the chat, and then I'll get into my theories going forward. So just to let everyone who's newly watching this know, we do have a Patreon. You can check that out at www.patreon.com/AfroX, and you can sign up to donate in increments of 5, 10, 30, 50, or $100 a month. You'll see all the rewards there. Just go check them. Really quick, we do have a Facebook page that is called AfroX. We also have a Facebook group called the Official AfroX Fan Club. And if you join that group, you'll be added to a chat where you'll be able to find out if the schedule changes for my uploads at all. We have a AfroX TikTok that is at AfroX_YT. You can check that out. I do a lot of random stuff. You'll see a lot more of my face there. And we have an AfroX Twitter, even though Twitter is dying. That is at the real AfroX. So you can find that there. We also have a couple of sister channels, a gaming channel called Afro the Sniper, and a recently started Dead by Daylight channel called Terran. Also, I'm going to be probably soon starting back up work on one of my older gaming channels called Game Bros, where I do some clips with a very, very good, well, honestly, one of my best friends, Kingster. So yeah, that's all the sponsors. Let's check the chat really quick. Let's dive right in. So Trix here says, on Mark III, he certainly keeps updates in his model. Yes, Mark III does look very interesting. When I first saw the Pacifistas, I wondered if they had what was it? Kuma's ability. I was glad that they didn't, because the Straw Hats on Sabbaty would have straight up died to a Mark III Pacifista. No contest. I definitely hope the Mark IIIs don't ever get used against the Straw Hats. Sentimaru's still alive, I see. Yeah, it's nice that Sentimaru is still alive. I mean, there wasn't much weight to Sentimaru's dying, just because or supposed death, just because what was it? Sentimaru started off as a villain, not a very liked character, and or at least a subordinate to a villain, or kind of a villain adjacent, and yeah, we didn't really get to have a real bond with Sentimaru. But Luffy definitely seemed to care about him. Trix says Stussy joining would technically be a member of Rock's joining. Thank you for pointing that out, Trix. I think that would be really cool for well, it'd be a member of Rock's, and it would be a member of Mad's joining. Which I think would be really awesome. And I mean, honestly, we've got so much variety on this ship. Why not have a clone? We have a walking, talking reindeer. We have a walking, talking skeleton. We have a fish man. Why not have a clone? Well, I mean, yeah, even caribou. We have a living swamp, if you count caribou. That's like 5 weird things on this ship. Honestly, a clone would fit right in. But yeah, we will see about that. Trix is still waiting to see what made him Kuma the Tyrant. Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I'll show that little one really quick. That would be interesting to see. I almost forgot that people called him Kuma the Tyrant, and I don't know. Maybe that memory is him like growing up, and his upbringing made him a tyrant, or something must have happened, or something must have gotten confused or something, because Kuma's like really, really nice. Antrix, is that voice acting top notch? Thank you, my dude. That actually really, really means a lot. All right, so we've done the sponsors, we checked the chat, we've gone through the chapter. Now I'm going to give you some of my thoughts and my theories on what I think is going to happen next. A clone would fit into the crew with their weird ways. Yes, definitely. So we obviously have to bring up Kizaru and St. J. Garcia Saturn, or as people are just calling him, Saturn now. So they are on their way, and it's going to be really, really interesting when they get here. I feel like the lines are really being drawn for war, and we just got a very powerful enemy in the Mark III Pacifistas, because I believe, and let me check the chapter just to see if I'm correct on this. Yes, there are 50 Mark III Pacifistas. So the power you saw in 1, multiply that by 50. I think, honestly, if we have the Straw Hats, Stussy, the satellites, especially like Lilith and Wrath. I don't remember what Wrath's actual name is, but Lilith and Wrath. If we have the satellites, and we have 50 Mark III Pacifistas, pretty much 50 Bartholomew Kumas, and Bonnie if she gets out of her father's memories. We will have all of that against like 20 battleships, Kizaru, and Saturn, and we don't even know what Saturn is going to do, or if the Gorosei even have devil fruits. But we won't have the Seraphim because as soon as Garcia shows up, or as soon as Saturn shows up, he's going to order the Seraphim to fight back against the Straw Hats. So we're pretty much looking at 50 Mark III Pacifista, Stussy, this, all 10 Straw Hats, Bonnie, and the 8 satellites. So that is 58, 68. That is 70 characters. We will have 70 characters against 20 battleships, Kizaru, and Garcia. So honestly, I think we're pretty even. Might even walk away from this. Like, I was really scared of Kizaru for a second, and then we got 50 Bartholomew Kumas on our team, and suddenly I was like, Kizaru's kind of hot shit. And so, yeah, I'm honestly really thinking that the Straw Hats are probably gonna walk away from this. Hopefully unscathed, because like Kizaru gonna have to get through a wall of Kumas first. And they all have his power. Anyways, really excited for that. Drake says it makes sense for Saturn to be there is because he would automatically take over all PX because of the hierarchy control. Yeah, that is a question. That is a question there. I dare say I went into my country voice here. Now I say, will Saturn be able to control the pacifistas? Because if Saturn can control the pacifistas, the Straw Hats are dead. Like if Saturn can control the pacifistas over Sentomaru, they better be off that island before Kizaru even gets there. Honestly, this might just come down to a thing where the Straw Hats have to look at each other and be like, "Oh man's gone. Like, we got to go." Or in the words of John Mulaney, the doctor's gone. Literally. It's true, Kizaru is a big factor, but now he has a great wall of Kumas in the way. Great. That makes me just want to make a big picture of China with like a whole row of like Bartholomew Kumas and call it the Great Wall of Kuma. Oh, please, if any animators, past, present, or future, well, not past, but present or future, if any animators ever see this video, please make a drawing of a whole bunch of Kumas standing next to each other in China and call it the Great Wall of Kuma. That would be hilarious. That picture would be funny, yes. You know, I should find an animator and get that commissioned. I should do that. Anyways, yeah, if Saturn can take over the pacifistas too, then yeah, Straw Hats better be gone or they're pretty much screwed. I don't even know if a Gear 5th Luffy could take on 50 Mark IIIs. That might just be endgame right there. Anyways, it was great talking to you guys. Thank you for watching the live stream. Anyone who just started watching it. And I will be back on Tuesday for Anime Legends. I really have to use the bathroom, so I'm gonna go. Keep YouTubing, YouTubers. Don't fight the fro. And come back on for the next piece of One Piece.